That's what it's scale for.
We had a date where everybody had to have the same, be on the same page at the same time on the same day, and it worked.
I would like to say also with Phil and Tressa both, they're open to our interpretation.
Right.
They don't stick to the script letter by letter. We say, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of that idea?
Yeah.
Tressa has the ultimate say, and she'll say, luckily she'll say no, because sometimes no needs to be said. But she's open to she'll listen to anything, and so will Phil. And Phil will try a couple different versions. Phil will try the script version and our version. So
It's nice to have the writer with you when you do the
Right.
filming, because there are key things in her mind that she wrote that story for,
Right.
and Tressa will point out, no, the phone has got to be on the thing, and then the phone's going to be disappeared. There, I know. You see a shot where the phone's on the table in the kitchen, and then it's not there when she comes out of the shower, and she's ready to go, and
Matching your frames.
yeah, matching. And she says you can change a little bit of the words and stuff, but that phone's got to be missing.
so we're a hell of a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can we come back and do something else, Mom?
Yeah, when's the next one, Tress?
Well,
We
that's,
will be doing more soon.
that's
Hey everybody, Tressa again. I'm going to be releasing a video a week explaining why I decided to do a movie called Sociopath. Can you imagine living through your own horror film, your own horror novel? Well, that's what I've done for the past 4 years and still doing. I don't know how I ended up finding the courage to fight through all this, but I ended up putting my story on the screen for people to watch. You can go to my website at www.tressagraves.com, and I will post the link to my website and the link to IMDb in the description of this video. If you know anyone who has been stalked or is being stalked, you might want to share these series of videos with them. Some of the stuff gets uncomfortable. Some of it's hard to talk about. Some of it's hard to listen to. So over the next couple of weeks, follow me on my journey of being stalked. Once my court case is done, I'll be releasing my first nonfiction novel called The Stalking of Tressa Graves, The Monster of Melbourne. www.tressagraves.com.
Goodbye, baby, on the
We finished the movie, and
We finished the movie.
we finished it a day early too. Everything went so good. There were very few second takes. A lot of this was pre-planned. Talk for an hour, maybe in 2 hours, and then shoot for a 30-second shot. And
Yeah, I like how you would go over all of it, because like I would read the lines, I knew the lines, and then when it was my turn, I'm like, I don't remember the lines, even though going over it beforehand, you know, with you and obviously with you, it was just, it made it so easy, and everything just kind of flowed natural, you know, all the feelings, all the emotions, all of everything, and you were prepared mentally and physically. You knew what to expect. So
And
Well,
I've
let's
worked,
introduce our actors too, though.
Oh,
'cause
yes, yes,
we
yes.
don't know who.
First, the star of the show, Ashley Foster. This is Ashley's, your first feature film, or
First main role.
Main role.
yep.
she
Yeah.
no, she's really good.
And next,
Damn kids.
next our main
Day.
villain. Our main villain.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I am not a villain.
Oh,
I
no.
am not a villain. I am.
Pizza delivery boy.
Here's your pepperoni. Never mind.
I'm gonna throw up again.
But I swear that there's Oscar performances done by here.
Oscar Mayer.
Oscar Mayer performances. Pepperidge Farm.
Getting back in the wiener track there. Now, speaking of
and,
wieners,
and actor Mike Ankrel also.
Hi.
First question I have is what do you think of all of this production, Ashley?
Well, I knew the main reason behind the story when I came into it right off the bat, and so it hit home for me personally. And
Sure.
this has been a cross between super therapeutic and super kind of messed up, but it makes sense in order to get through that.
Almost misogynistic, is it?
A little bit. It's almost like, you know, reliving it, it really does take you back to those terrible, horrible moments that really do happen, and they do exist, and these, you know, stances of what could happen and what does happen out there, you know, and just the fact that, you know, my girl over there, she's trying to raise awareness to a bigger cause. You know, she wants people to be aware of domestic violence and that, you know, how insane stalking,
Yeah.
and you know, even it can lead to murder, it can lead to everything. It becomes obsessive, and it's not fair because it takes away our lives.
This does not have happy endings for all the cast members.
No.
And that's not a spoiler. Not everybody has a happy ending in this, and because there's not a happy ending in domestic violence. Somebody is hurt, somebody's a victim, somebody's a perpetrator, and sometimes that changes. And you never know, but domestic violence is not, and stalking. Especially stalking is just.
It's taking it to the next step, and
Yeah.
it instills a fear in you that you can't come back from.
When we did these scenes that were very, very bringing back memories and everything, we would rehearse them beforehand. And we were all, this is me doing this. So Ashley, you knew it was Gary and Mike were doing this, and they're there for, if you say stop, we stop, you know. And so everybody, there was a time when you were hugging Gary over there, and there was a time when Mike was comforting Tressa, and
you know, it felt so real. It, like I said, it hits so close to home, and even though you are mentally and emotionally and physically prepared, you know what's going to happen, it's still somewhere in your mind. It clicks and it takes you back to, you know, when your eyes close even for that quick second, or if they roll in the back of your head, you get these flashbacks of this really happened to you.
I do have a question. Originally, I was told, I don't know, at least 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something like that, that you were not going to be told what was going to happen to you. What point in time, Philip, did that change?
when I sent her the script. I only met her.
Tressa wanted you to have real emotions.
And she did.
They were real. Tressa saw. I think she actually could feel the emotions a little bit deeper than most in the room could. You know, I was prepared for what was going to happen, but even so, you know, just even the thought of being restrained or being touched or being that fear that you
Thrown
get,
around, yeah.
anything really, it brings you to the realness of that emotion. And I think, you know, Tressa watched that herself when we were going through the climax of the story.
I don't
It
know
was
if you
hard
remember.
at the end. At the one at one of the major scenes, it was hard.
And you know what made it even harder is like behind the scenes, I know that it was hard for them as well
Right.
to even act that out. And so it just all together, you know, it couldn't have gone down with a better crew. I know that.
I don't know if you remember, Ashley, when I found out that you had signed on to the project, one of the first things I did was I friended you on Facebook
Michael.
and sent a private
Michael.
message to talk about the project and to assure you that everything was going to be safe.
Yes.
Because to me, emotionally, physically, your safety was my primary job. Even apart from portraying the character, I had to make sure that you felt safe, and it was just pretend.
And even that small act of just reaching out, you know, that shows such great character all in who you are as a person when you're, you know, not on screen, when you're not taking up these roles, when you're, you know, trying to meet new people is very hard these days. And that there's a lot of ulterior motives, and there are a lot of freaking psychos out there.
Quick
And,
thing.
with that being said,
Michael, can you
just-
move over a little bit? And Ashley, can you move over a tiny bit? Just tighten up a tiny bit. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, my next question is to first, I guess, Michael, because he's such the talkative one.
Good.
Have
He's
you
like
ever?
Steven.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything as intense as what happened here this weekend?
Well, so this is what I wanted to say. This is my third project with Tressa Graves Productions. And they were all intense in their own way. And if you start with good writing, and Tressa does good writing, if you start with a good story and good writing, you can make it happen if you're worth anything as an actor, because the story is the whole thing. So to answer your specific question, yeah, all of them were intense in their own way, all three projects. But
This one was a different intense thing.
this was yeah, this one bothered me before I did it. I apologize. The first time I met Ashley, I said, "I'm sorry." You know, because it bothered me to say any of the words we had to
And
say.
I found myself coaxing you, like, just remember, you know, this is a real life thing. This really
Yep.
did happen.
Yep.
And so as hard as it is for us, like, this actually happened to somebody in real life. And so
Exactly.
if you can, you know, even the simple act of acting it out, it brings awareness to a broader spectrum. Do that. Do
Yep.
that. Make a change.
Yep.
Start something.
And now I guess, Gary, the same question.
What was the question again?
How,
Oh,
is this the most
intensity.
intense?
How
does this rank on intensity?
I guess I'd go along with Mike on that one, in that it is a totally different intense. It's something that
You have your own theater. And
I have my own theater. I've been acting for over 40 years now, since I was just a little bitty buckaroo. And
Little bitty,
so I've done a
Little
lot
bitty-
of different roles.
little bitty Irish lad.
Yeah. Oh, shut up, big on it.
Just a wee one.
Just a wee Irish lad.
I think the most intense overall role I ever did was when I was in Spring Awakening. It's a stage musical, and I played the father of a boy who died, and standing there at his funeral and thinking back on my own experience, because my own son passed away. It'll be 10 years ago this year. That was the most intense acting that I've ever done, because it was so raw and it was so, this, not so much intense as it was, I really had to disassociate myself from the character, because I am, can we swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Fuck
Because
it then. I wish I'd have known that.
I If you talk to my ex-wives, they'll say he's an asshole, but I'm not that much of a fucking evil prick.
It did kill me.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
spoiler. So,
Maybe.
Yeah, allegedly. And, you know, there might be some ex-girlfriends out there that accused me of stalking them at one time or another, but never anything to this level. This is totally outside of my own psychology, something that I just had to research.
So he had to stretch.
Do you know the history of the? Do you know the history of
The story.
This story?
Yeah, the story of
Yes.
the actual stalker.
We do,
Tressa.
and we know that the words were, a lot of our words in the
Have you
script
actually-
were spoken.
How much of the saved 3 terabytes of material between me and Philly that we have? I would say at least a terabyte of material that he sent to Tressa.
Yeah, Tressa shared a lot of that with me.
Okay.
Not just his own
I bet
personal
I got
videos,
a full
but
I bet I got a full terabyte of material.
just a really, I don't creep out easily, but that creeped me out.
From my understanding, this is about 90% of what
Sure.
actually happened.
Just names are changed, and
Yeah.
you're an actress,
90% of
and
it
she's a
actually
writer.
happened.
You're a singer. I'm sorry.
And she's a movie maker.
Right. Okay.
I found the best people. I found Mike, who I've been working with for a dozen years, and been in several movies with him, done several projects with him, and Gary has been teaching acting. He is so good, and staging. He has his own theater company, and I found Ashley, and even though I'm doing the editing, she is right with
You're
me
gonna have to
or
get together with
better
Gary.
in
You know that,
editing
right?
than I am. And I've got you, who does all the radio work and all the promotions and stuff like that. I just found the best people, and it all came together at the same time, and it had to, because we had a date where everybody had to have be on the same page at the same time on the same day, and it worked.
We're a hell of a team.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
This was a-
can we come back and do something else, Mom?
Yeah, when's the next one, Tress?
Well,
We
that's
will be doing more soon.
that's up to the other mom.
Can we do a comedy, maybe? Has anything funny ever happened to you?
Not really.
Just-
Not
You
really.
met Sam.
Tressa is
yeah,
a big
that.
is the biggest serial killer I know.
The
She's
funniest
killed
thing,
more people.
Gary.
more
The
than-
funniest thing about Tressa is her Snapchat filters
Oh, yes,
and the
absolutely.
videos.
Are you trumping? You're trumping, are you? Sam? Sam, you're trumping!
And Sam will go right with it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good about me and him. We can go back and forth on that. And we get along as far as that goes. That's the way I get through the Trump stuff, is having to make it a joke. But that's about the only joke I am in, because my writing is serious. It always is.
It's a little
It's
dark.
dark.
It's a
Yes.
A little dark.
A little dark. Yeah.
And borders, your fiction borders on true crime.
Yeah. And that's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to go to true crime. And I never knew my first true crime novel would be my own.
Your own,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know? And that just freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I can't do the true crime novel until my court trial's over.
Right.
You know, so that's why I did the stalking monster and all that. So, which turned out to be something bigger than what I thought it would be. I wrote it for therapy, basically, and then it turned into something else. So,
This isn't a spoiler alert, but just about anything Tressa does, somebody's fixing to die.
Yes.
And another non-spoiler is you don't know how many people. When Tressa writes something, you don't know how many people are going to die, how many people are living. With Tressa's writing, you don't know if there is a single person living.
Right. And are they really dead?
Yeah.
Are they really dead?
I like it because I've had people say that they thought the story was going to go one way, and then it just turns and goes a totally different direction. And that's what I like to do, is keep them on the edge of their seats.
I've got a question for Tressa and for Ashley, because you had mentioned this a little bit earlier, and it really seemed, and I heard you talking about it a little bit, that doing this, performing this, writing this today was somewhat cathartic and therapeutic.
Yeah.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, people write what they are scared of. And that's what was so bad about this. And when there were 2 scenes in it where I actually broke down, you know, because it hit home a lot, you know, but it was okay because it's kind of a therapy, I guess.
I have to admit, there were times where, like, I was crying, but, like, I could see you crying, and I was, like, trying not to cry. So, like, if you cry, she's gonna cry. It was kind of like a wrecking ball, just, like, a catastrophic, you know, downfall, but that it was what was needed, too, you know, so that...
I didn't think I would be as emotional. I knew there would be some emotions, but I never knew I didn't want to break down in front of everybody.
Remember,
But-
I told you, I knew you were going to
Yeah,
break down.
you said you knew it.
Yeah.
I really thought Mike was going to be the one bawling the most. I really did.
I was tearing up a little bit under the mask when we were.
I kind of thought so. I could tell both of you were uncomfortable.
This is very, very dark.
A wrecking ball, like she said, like you said.
But ultimately, it can bring hope to the audiences out there
Yes.
too,
The,
as a cautionary tale.
not just,
Yeah.
not just this particular psychopath, or stalking monster, whatever you want to say. There's 2 different descriptions that people do know about, but I had a thought, but then I lost it. Yeah, it's not just this particular one, but a lot of them are truly dark, and a lot of people watch these things and think they are fantasy, but this one, it's not really going to be fantasy so much. It's based on a lot of true stuff. So
When you can watch something and see yourself in it, in a situation as incredibly dark as what Ashley's character was in, and see the end result of what happens, I think, hopefully, please God, some of these people that are in situations like that, it will finally get to get into their cerebellum to go, oh shit, I gotta get out of this.
And I've got to call somebody for my friend who says she's scared. I
Yeah.
got to get the police out there now.
And one thing about that people don't know, when you have a stalker or anything, you call and you make that police report, because when the police come out, they have to give you a report. And a lot of times they'll tell you that they're not going to give you a report. If you've got to make 50 reports in 1 week, you make 50 reports in 1 week. You do what you
Absolutely.
have to do, and then that's how you get the attention. That's why I got the FBI involved in my case and stuff. I would go down there and sit and talk to them, you know. And you have to be strong, and it's hard.
I feel like you really did capture the mind of a sociopath. You know, when somebody is that extremely narcissistic and sociopathic, they get off on tearing you down and degrading you and belittling you, and you capture the essence of what, you know, you're trying to explain of what these men are doing to women and what these women are doing to men, even, because there is such thing as, you know, spousal abuse and men being the other on the other hand, and it's just like a lot of people don't realize that all of this is happening. So you really captured it to a T. And
Thank you.
it's-
And you know, it's to bring awareness. I want people to know what can happen, but I also want them, because when this happened to me, I found a lot of people who literally committed suicide
sure.
from this, and it really hurt me
And
to see.
you also found a lot of people that dropped you like a bad habit too.
oh,
Yeah,
Especially, you know, when you
Yes,
get that
when
close
you
to
needed
wanting
support.
to be there for
Right.
yourself.
No one was there, you know?
Yeah.
I had very few people. Everyone treated me like I was the bad guy.
Yep.
And they just didn't want to
Yeah.
have anything to do with me.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, so to get the bullying out there, people, suicide, because whenever you think suicide is the only way out, that's when you need help. And I was at that point, you know?
Yeah.
I was
Well,
put in
you-
the hospital.
You were at
I was-
Valium and whiskey.
I was doing Valium, sleeping pills, alcohol. I had my 9mm sitting next to me. I was so scared for my family. I literally thought that was my only way out.
Well, it comes down to hope, and the narcissistic sociopaths steal that hope.
Yeah.
They do.
They take everything. They take your career. They take, you know,
dreams,
your
your friends,
dreams.
your life.
They violate you in every way possible.
Yes.
And strip you of that hope. And
One of the worst things, the worst violations is when they accuse you of doing something that they're doing to you.
Turn it
Yes.
around. the
Transference.
Oh, yeah.
script.
Transferring.
you
Yes.
made me do this to you.
Yes.
I wouldn't have hit you if you wouldn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
If you would have just done the laundry.
No. Why are you stalking me and my family?
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
I'm not stalking you. I'm just
I'm not
driving by your
stalking
house
you.
and finding
Yes.
your address on my own.
That's
because
right.
That's what we do for fun.
That's right.
And social media now has made this so much more common and so much more
Yeah.
easy.
Lampooning
Yes,
is
I
fun.
agree.
Well, there is hope, because guess what? This is a story of redemption, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're 3 projects in at Tressa Graves Productions,
Yep.
and more to come.
And more to come.
So-
Ain't nothing gonna break her stripes.
Not anymore. I love that song. Nobody's gonna slow me down.
Oh no, you got to keep on moving. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm knowing that I won't touch ground. Oh no.
Edit. Cut.
No, I actually like that.
I'm not cutting it. Just teasing.
But I want to thank everyone
Thank you.
for
Thank
being
you.
there for me, for coming here and doing this. You know, you guys were, I don't even have words to say for all of y'all because you really did a lot of work. And I appreciate all of you and thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
what you
Thank
did.
you for your bravery. Thank you for your bravery.
Yes, absolutely. You're still going through enough of your own
Shit.
shit. Yeah.
I'm knee deep in shit and just getting it thrown at me more. That's what I always say. But you know, like I said along the way, you know, with cutting those old ties and with being dropped by many others, you learn who your crew is and you find your people, and they may not be what you expected, but it becomes like a family later on anyway. So really, you're just gaining more.
Can we be your people?
I hope so. I already thought you were.
Girlfriend.
I love Irish little wee lads.
I'm a leprechaun.
But
All right. I think we have enough of
I
that.
do.
That's a pretty good wrap there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tressa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Love
Thank you
you.
guys. Love you guys.
So thank you everyone for the Dark Hours.
Thank you,
Podcast.
Stephen.
Yep. We'll be back soon.
Hi, Tressa Graves here. You can go over to my website at www.tressagraves.com and watch Sociopath for free.